Question 1 of the Edexcel 2009 paper. Here is a list of ingredients for making 8 cheese scones. Ingredients for 8 cheese scones: 200 grams self-raising flour, 60 grams butter, 30 grams cheese, and 150 milliliters milk. Work out the amount of each ingredient needed to make 12 cheese scones. Okay, so this is the amount for making 8 cheese scones. So we need to find out how much to make 12 cheese scones. Um, there are two ways I can think of doing this. One would be to divide all of the amounts by 8 and then times it by 12. So we would divide it by 8 to find out the amount to make one cheese scone, and then times it by 12 to make 12 cheese scones, which is what we're being asked to make. Another way to make 12, maybe an easier way, would be to half 8, which would give us 4, and then times that by 3, which would give us 12. So this is for 8 cheese scones. We could have 8 to give us, have all of these to tell us how much we would need for 4 cheese scones, and then just times those by 3 to find out how to make 12 cheese scones, because 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay, I think I'll do it that way because it seems easier. Okay, so half of 200 grams is obviously 100. Half of 60 grams of butter is 30. Half of 30 grams of cheese equals 15. And half of 150 milliliters of milk equals 75 milliliters of milk. Okay, so what we have here is now for how much you would make for 4 cheese scones. What we have up here in the question is the ingredients for 8 cheese scones. Half of 8 is 4, so we've halved everything. So that's given me for 4. And now I'm going to times these quantities by 3 to give me the amount for 12 cheese scones, because 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay, let's start with 100. 100 times 3 equals 300. It's very easy. 30 times 3 equals 90. 15. 15 is next on our list here. 15 times 3 equals 15, 30, 45. And 75 times 3 equals 75, 150, 200, 225. Okay, so work out the amount of each ingredient needed to make 12 cheese scones. So I'm going to just write here so you know which one is which. This one is 300 grams of flour. Oops. This is 90 grams butter. You won't need to type these in, I'm just doing this for clarity so you know which one is which. 45 grams of cheese and 225 milliliters of milk. You would just have to write the numbers over here. Okay, and now let's check if I got that right. Hopefully I did. Let's check the mark scheme. Here it is. Let's see. I saw that this question is worth 3 marks, so they're probably looking for 3 different things. Okay, so here we are, question 1. The answer they're looking for is 300, 90, 45, and 225. I've written down 300, 90, 45, and 225, so I have gotten this correct. This is worth 3 marks. If you got this correct, you get 3 marks. And let's see what it says in the mark scheme. M2, so you would get 2 marks for any one of 200 plus 100. Yeah, that's another way of getting 300 grams of flour, or 60 plus 30. Okay, that's a clever way of doing it. 60 plus 30, yeah, giving 90. 30 plus 15 giving 45, or 150 plus 75, or 300 yeah, 150 plus 75 given 225, or 90 or 45 or 225 seen. So if you have 300 written down somewhere, they'd give you 2 marks. 90 written down somewhere, they'd give you 2 marks, even if you didn't get the question right. 45 written down somewhere, you get 2 marks, or 225 written down somewhere, you get 2 marks. They've actually done a very clever thing here in the mark scheme. Um, it would be for someone who recognizes that 8, remember it was 8 scones, that 8 is 2/3 of 12, 4, 8, 12. I found out what 1/3 was and then times that by 3 to get 3/3. They recognized that 2/3 plus 1/3 equals 3/3. So they recognized that the original quantity, 200, is 2/3, that half of 2/3 is 1/3. So all they need to do is half this amount to get 1/3 and add the two together to get 3/3 to get 12. This is 2/3 of 12, or this is 2/3 of the 12 scones, the recipe. This would, half of it would be 1/3. They would add the two to get the amount you would need for 12 scones. That's quite clever. Okay, A1 for the correct answer. You would get 1 mark if you wrote down 12 divided by 8, 6 divided by 4, 3 divided by 2, or site of 1.5. I'm not sure what site means. 1 mark for 200 times 1.5, or 60 times 1.5, or 30 times 1.5. Okay, that's another way of doing it. If you, yeah, or 150 times 1.5. My goodness, this was so easy to get at least 1 mark in this question. You could have written down just about anything. Look at the amount of things here. But yeah, okay, if you want to go through the mark scheme further, you can pause it. But if there's M1 before it and you've something like that written down, you would have gotten 1 mark. And if you have up here, then one of these things, then you would have gotten 2 marks. Okay, if you didn't understand how this was done, you can look at another video on the same topic. I recommend that you do anyway to practice. And thanks very much, and thanks for watching this video from videogcse.com.